Okay, we are live.
Yay! Welcome, everybody. Pixie's in the background to Broadcast Team Alpha. I am Morika, also known as Nori Love, and I have my amazing co-host with me, Zahn, also known as Tomas, and Aage, who is also known as Zaravan, is on location. It's the Wednesday show. It's the casual Wednesday show. There's nothing too serious going on here. We're going to have some fun. And tonight you're going to be able to call in and we're going to talk about dreams and what do they mean and how can they be therapeutic to you. But before we get started, I'd like to invite you to connect with Broadcast Team Alpha, sometimes and if you want to support us with green money, with green energy. That's what I would rather say. If you want to support us with green energy, you could do that there, or you can support us just by being here, or of course, sharing, and telling your friends about us. So without any further ado, I have one more thing I almost forgot.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh. Dun, 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 dun. Please know that good.
Good.
Oh my goodness.
We don't even subscribe to it. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Our opinions aren't our own.
They're just opinions.
That's scary. That's
it.
scary.
They're just opinions. We're just having fun. That's the whole thing. We're just having fun.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to the chat rooms on Val.
Absolutely.
Hi, Val.
What you got? Let's see who we've got in the chat room.
Ladies there. Shady lady.
Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I lost my chat room connection.
Oh, all right. Well, Angel Rock with Laura Lee Potvin is here. Love. Hi. Yay, everybody. Thanks for being here. It's going to be fun tonight. Zahn, are you back?
I'm here. We're standing by.
Very good.
I'm actually very excited. This is going to be a lot of fun because this is kind of my realm. This is where my playground is what if. And so for me, we're going to be talking about dreams and when dreams unwind. What does that mean? Well, we all try to, it's been something for millennia. Mankind has tried to understand the dreams that we have and what does it mean. We've had psychiatrists, psychologists, famous authors, and myriads of people have tried to interpret dreams and give us guidance on what dreams mean. What do you think happens as you begin to unwind your dreams?
Mm-hmm. Is that rhetorical?
It's just a question we thought we'd throw out there for the audience.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm going to do a quick disclaimer that there are many, what would the word be? Sorry, guys, I'm having a senior moment. There are many variations of dream therapy. So tonight, I'm going to be sharing my preferred theories, and those are what I learned from Dr. George Kappas. So anything you want to fact check, you can fact check it there. So, and this actually comes from a hypnotherapy lesson, an advanced hypnotherapy lesson that I took, and it was part of the curriculum for using dreams as therapy in hypnotherapy. So, and
well, how does that exactly work? How can that be therapeutic? Exactly. How could that be therapeutic?
Well, I'm just going to go straight to it. All right. It's therapeutic because our dreams, we have to dream in order to live. We have to sleep in order to live. You will live longer if you run out of food than if you run out of sleep. Sleep is that important. But, part of our culture just says, oh, what a waste of time. I've got to take time out of my busy life to go to sleep, where in other cultures, they don't do anything. They don't buy a house. They don't get married. They don't, choose a new job. They don't consult somebody about their health until they go in and meet with, the wisdom of their dreams, the wisdom of the dream keeper. I mean, it's really, really a special place to go. So what we miss out sometimes is that Okay. Did you ever have a friend that talked all the time? Just talk, 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 talk. Never really listened, just talk, talk, talk.
I'm sure that's happened to everybody.
Okay. Well, I've had a friend like that. So it's the same thing with our subconscious mind. If we just keep going through life, talk, 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 go, 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 talk, 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 go, and we don't take time to listen to our subconscious mind.
Wait. I gotta cut you here. I'm sorry.
Of course.
You mentioned something. Of course, it's a trademark. It's what I do. Okay. You mentioned something crucial. Back up to what you said.
Dun, dun, dun.
Think about what you said.
What?
That we don't stop and listen.
Uh-huh.
What are those methods for listening to the subconscious? How do you listen to your subconscious mind? How do we stop? And there's people out there right now that want to know, wait. How do I listen to my subconscious mind? What's the best method?
Right. Well, you can listen to your subconscious mind by paying attention to your dreams. You can listen to your subconscious mind by experiencing hypnosis. And here's a secret. Shh. Right before you go to sleep, you go into hypnosis. When you wake up in the morning, before you really wake up, you are in hypnosis. It is just it's a brainwave. So
Wait. How do
carry
you
on.
get to that place? Okay, that's even more fat. Now you've taken us down another trail.
Okay.
How do we get to that place?
All right. So you're exhausted, right? You're exhausted because you've taken in all this information. Let's call the information message units. You've taken all this information in. We're going to call them message units. They're every stimuli that comes to you. And the message units that are emotionally laden or laced with emotion are heavier to you. So we have a magic number. We wake up in the morning, we have information you take in through your senses, and right. So if you see the sunrise, that's going to be so many message units. If you have a argument with your significant other on the phone, that's going to be way more message units. So the day goes on. Hopefully you use up your message units by the time you go to bed, not at noon. But when you use up all your message units, and this is like verbatim from my lesson, like the message units are going down, 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 down. And then there's a sound that it makes and it goes ding, I'm
I
done.
think I think men use up their message units faster than women do.
Well, I don't know that that's true, but let's keep going. So
Okay.
you use up your message units, and then you start yawning and stretching. If you're with people, you start separating yourself from the people, and then you go into the secret chamber. You go into the chamber and you take off your clothes and you put on your ceremonial robes. Then you lay on the platform, right? The magical platform that you only do maybe two things on. It's really just for sleep. And you lay in bed and then you wait. And you never know when exactly sleep is going to happen. But right before sleep comes, your eyes start blinking and your thoughts go blurry. They may speed up, but you're unaware of what they are. And that's when you're in the brainwave of hypnosis, when you're there waiting for sleep right before it happens. Then you go to sleep. Then you go into the dreamland. So it's in the dreamland that you do connect with your subconscious mind, and we have REM sleep 3 times a night in the
Wow.
early part, right? 60 to 120 minutes. In the middle of the night we have it again, then we have it again at the right in the morning, and those are usually the ones that we remember the most. And we remember it the most because it's the longest dream time that we have, and it's usually the most intense. So during the first third, the 1/3 part of dreaming, right? It's like we're going to the mailbox and we're sorting the mail. So we're taking all of the message units from the day and we're going not important, not important, catalog, get rid of crap, don't need this, don't need that. So that's what happens in the first 1/3 of sleep. You toss out the unimportant or the not really emotionally laden, the things that you have to deal with, the things that your subconscious mind wants you to deal with. It's mostly the important stuff. You throw all them away, and then you have a pile of message units that comes with you into the second 1/3. The second one third is called the precognitive stage. And this is where, do you have questions on? You're awfully quiet. Zahn? Zahn? Did we lose him?
I'm here, Zon of the Seven Planets. I'm here. I'm actually looking up some lyrics because I'm glad you're speaking on this. There's the lyrics to a song that I'm going to elucidate on here in just a moment.
Okay.
That is one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
And I love the lyrics. It's a band that a lot of people, if you're older, you might remember from the 90s, called Kula Shaker. And one of their favorites,
Kula Shaker?
Kula Shaker.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Kula Shaker. They were very popular kind of in the alt rock years during the late 90s. They got very popular and then they just kind of faded away. They were founded by the son of Haley Mills from those 50s movies. Well, she had a son, and he founded this rock group called Kula Shaker, and they incorporated all of these new age topics about reincarnation. They took the song from the Vedas, Govinda Jaya. They made a song called Govinda Jaya. It's just awesome.
Are we talking about dreams? I'm like
yes,
totally lost.
yes. Okay. And listen, one of their songs is called Tattva, and in Tattva, I'm going to read you the lyrics. It's freaking awesome. You have to go and get this song. We can't put it on our channel because it would be tagged for we call it copyright. But I'm going to give you a lyric. It says, "At that moment when you wake from sleeping and you know it's all a dream, well, the truth may come in strange disguises, never knowing what it means." It's a very cool song. So if you ever get a chance to listen to some Kula Shaker, it talks about that moment between waking and sleeping, or sleeping and going, or kind of waking and going to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that magic realm that you go into.
Exactly. So we were talking about when we dream, right? Those are the times when we have rapid eye movement, right? So the second one third is going to be a little bit longer than the first and a little bit more intense. And that happens in the middle of the night. And it's called the precognitive stage or the predictive stage. So what does that mean? That means that your subconscious mind is going to take all of those message units and try and predict your future with them. And I know that's a little bit confusing. The subconscious mind doesn't like unknown things. So it tries to sort things out to make them known. So this is when you go into you go into the mail and you begin opening the mail and you decide, is this piece of message unit, right? The pile of mail that you took with you from the first, does this message unit that I got today, this piece of information that I got today, and it just happened to be, news that my ex-boyfriend from high school, is sick. So is this a piece of information that is important to me? And is that going to change my subconscious mind for the prediction of the future? If it says yes, it's going to take it in and keep it with us for the dream. If it says no, it's going to toss it out like we did in the first one third. So during this stage, the subconscious mind, factors and removes things, and it takes new information and it adjusts your story. So in your subconscious mind is all of the things that you think about yourself. All of the things, am I good looking enough? Do I make enough money? Yeah, go ahead.
Curiosity.
Carry on.
There are people out there right now. You're a font of knowledge on this. So how did you pick all this up? Where did you find all this? How did you get all this information? This is fascinating.
You weren't listening to the beginning of this show. I told you I got it during my hypnotherapy session. And a lot of this most all of this information is from Dr. George Kappas, who was an amazing hypnotherapist.
Wow.
And the owner of HMI hypnotherapy.
Because you speak authoritatively about it, and that's why I was kind of, where's this coming from? And I know, and I'm not demeaning you as a person that you might not have figured this out on your own, but I'm curious. Maybe you were influenced. And I was kind of curious where you found this from. This is great.
I'm very passionate about it because I know how hypnotherapy and how even dreams and dream therapy changes people's lives. And I mean, the thing that I love about all of
Wow.
the things that I do is that I get to help people change their lives. And that's my passion. And that's
Okay,
why.
so
Mhm.
this is awesome. So you're helping people unlock these dreams that they're having because they can't figure it out, or what is happening that's making these breakthroughs?
Okay, that's great. That's a great question. So what happens is that you go in once you decide which message units are important to you, and really message units are the information that we take in through our senses, right? So light comes in, and it hits behind our eyes, and it creates neural energy, and so too everything else comes in through our senses. Whether we touched it and we gave it emotion, somebody touched us, we gave a emotion, somebody said something, we experienced it as emotion. So it's all really emotion. And what happens is in the next stage of the dream, right, the venting stage, the only way to change the emotion is with emotion. So we go into this last part of the dream stage where you hallucinate, right? You're hallucinating. You're seeing things that don't exist. You're hearing things. You're feeling things. But the thing that is different than, of course, people who are hallucinating in real life during the waking stage is that um, there's a motor inhibition that happens that sort of paralyzes, right? Not really paralyzes, but makes it makes the information go straight into our brain and not into our muscles. That's why we can have all of these crazy dreams and not punch ourselves in the head or kick the person next to us. So um, we experience all of the emotion from the message units, and then we feel them and we change them, and we might not exactly know what's happening. And we vent those emotions, we vent those message units in the longest part of the dream state, which is the venting stage. And this is where, when you wake up and go, oh my God, I feel so much better, that's what happened. Questions, comments, general feelings about Mars.
Well, actually, it's interesting you said that about questions and comments. We
Hmm.
really should. Actually, we've got plenty of time now.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a very busy chat room. There is a
All right.
lot of conversation going on. It's really busy.
Let's chat
Let
with
me
the chat
just
room.
let me just give a shout out here. We got
Hmm.
Tyler Arnold, Nancy Volker. Hi, Nancy. We love you. She's a regular. Shady D. We've got the Angel Rock. We've got let's see here. A lot of people. Well, that's been them. They've had quite a conversation
I
going here.
know.
So, which is awesome. So you know what? We're going to step it up a notch tonight. We're going to actually. I'm going to flip a slide on here, and guys will be able to call in. We've got the free conference call .com thing going. So let me just pull that up,
So
and then
Tyler
you guys.
said that he was tired from work, and I can't quite find it. But Tyler, that means you used up all your message units.
Aha.
Aha. Aha. So let's see who's here. Matthew's here. Shady D is
Shady
here.
D.
Tyler Arnold and
I love
Angel Rock.
pseudonyms. I like when people come up with pseudonyms that have imagination. I think it's awesome. There's been this push because of everybody, Facebook wants you to expose your full identity. I love pseudonyms. It allows people almost like cosplay. They get to be a little bit different than they might be in real life. And it allows them to kind of express themselves a little bit more honestly sometimes. So I love all the pseudonyms.
Hmm.
It's great. Let them be the characters they want to be, is what I
Of
say.
course, of
You know,
course,
so
of course. As long
it
as
might
they're
help them discover part of themselves they hadn't really been aware of, and lets them say something they really can't maybe say in their own real world. They can allow them to be a little bit bigger online sometimes, maybe in a negative
the
light, but
the goal would be that we could say it in our real world. But I get what you're saying.
it gives them a safe place to practice. to
Yeah.
bring it back. You know what I mean? That you
And
ultimately want to do that. You want to come out to the real world with what you believe.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just going to tie this in. That's what the venting stage of dreaming is. It's a safe place to work out all of those things that have been bothering you, or that you've been worried about, or that came into you as a new piece of information.
Well, I'm sure I have had some crazy dreams. I've had some crazy insights. I would love for people, if they want to call in, we've got
Yeah.
right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, we've got a phone number up there for our freeconferencecall.com call in. If you want to call in,
Right. Right.
there's a number there. You can dial
Hi,
in, just
Matt.
punch in
Hi,
the
Matt.
numbers, and we'll try to bring it on. We've going to have a phone handy by the microphone. That's how it's going to
So
work. So,
that's great. And the way that we're talking about dreams tonight means that, the dream books that you get that are kind of like dictionaries, that they're not a part of this, because truly, if you believe that you're interacting with your subconscious mind, which you are, during your dreams, it's, a green tricycle is not going to mean the same thing to me as it's going to mean to Tom. And if Tom was on the green tricycle in a hurricane, and his dog flew over his head, that's going to mean something very, very personal and very unique to him. That's why you can take your dreams, and the way that you can begin to work with them is by saying, I'm going to remember my dreams tonight. That's, you're really simplistic, but it works. And then keep a pen and a paper by your nightstand or by
well,
your bed. Hmm.
I think there's one common thing that many of us have experienced in dreams, that it isn't as abstract as some of the really wacky stuff that I've had in my dreams.
Like
But a
what?
lot of people, there are many of us who have experienced flying, and some of the dreams I've had about flying is I am trying to show other people how to do it, and it's very simple. I just tip my head a little bit, think about it, and I fly.
I've
And
done
it's like,
that.
okay, isn't it that simple? Okay, come on, why can't you people figure it out?
It is
So
that
that's
simple.
something we have all done. I think a lot of us have done that in our dreams, is flying.
But I've also had the dream, and I've had it a lot, where I'm flying like right above the pavement. And it's like it takes effort for me to do it, but I can do it. But my body is truly efforting at that moment. And don't mean to break the mystical part of it, but that has to do with what your blood sugar's doing, interestingly.
Isn't it weird how the body affects the we want to think of ourselves a lot of times as separate sentient beings who are like separate from the body, but the body does in fact color so much of our also spiritual experience.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, what is the phone number? Let me put it in the chat room.
The phone number is, and I will get my glasses here, 605 472 5732. And then there's a PIN number, 174225. And you can dial that number. And in fact, there are international numbers available. We have a freeconferencecall.com account. So you can call that number. And you can actually go to our broadcast team alpha freeconferencecall.com page, and it shows international numbers. But if you've got a comment, maybe you don't want to call us, but maybe you want to leave a question in the chat. That's just
It's up, and we hear that ding, I'm done. Everything that happens after that is painful. Everything that happens after that is when you're like, oh my God, just be quiet. Don't talk to me. Get away from me. Like noises annoy you. That's what happens when you push yourself past the message unit, emptying, if you will, and you have to go sleep. And then when you go sleep, or you go into hypnosis, you recharge yourself, and you hope, the goal is the next day you come out with the same amount of message units or more, right? So that depends on how long you sleep. Your night crew may say, hey, we've got 8 hours to recharge our message units. Then you only give them 4. You're not really going to get the job done. So you're going to have less message units. You're going to be less tolerant. You're going to be less resilient. It has, the message units have a lot to do with tolerance. That's why emotional things, like if you wake up, have an argument with your mother, then you have an argument with your significant other, then you have an argument with your boss, you are so done. You might be in a deficit because of all that emotion. Oh, Shady D said
Wow.
he or she thought message units was a YouTube thing. No, no, no. Somebody call in. I want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Well,
Nancy, you've called him before.
yeah,
She's
only
here.
only lovers, not haters. No
That's
haters
right.
tonight.
Exactly.
We're gonna hang
Yeah.
up on haters.
Absolutely. Well, this is, it's okay. So I guess the question is, sometimes people are having ET contact experiences through dreams.
That's a
There are
whole
also
different thing.
people,
Yeah.
that's a whole other realm. Then there is what you're talking about, kind of a natural cycle that we're going to go through the dream process. You
Right.
talked earlier about a sorting process and kind of managing things. And then seems to be this experiential process where we are in the dream and something's happening.
Right.
And I have had some very busy dreams, and I have no idea what it means.
Right.
None.
That's because your subconscious is talking to you in symbol. Your subconscious is, it's like it's talking to you in Greek. So you have to, if you want to understand what it is, you have to take the time to write your dreams down and then review them, or talk to somebody, about them. um,
Right.
because the symbolism is either logical, or symbolic, and you have to be able to sort out what that is.
Well,
Mhm.
why do we remember some dreams more than others? Why do some stand
That's a
out?
great
There's like it
question.
just slaps us aside the head, and I
Hmm.
still remember a certain dream like 3 years ago. Like, why would I remember that versus like the ones I try to? It seems almost like some dreams, it's almost like as soon as you start trying to remember them, it's almost like they're evaporating in front of your eyes. You cannot remember them for as much as you want to. What
Mm.
is that?
Mm. I don't know why you can't remember them. Well,
Some, not
well,
always,
okay,
not
no,
always, but
not
some.
always, but most. So, remembering your dreams is like working out. It's like a muscle, and you have to train it. So you might be remembering some of the really powerfully emotional dreams that happen in the venting stage of your sleep, and
Mm,
and and when that muscle inhibition that I talked about, the tonic impulse inhibition, when it kind of weakens a little bit, then you start feeling the dream in your body. So that's when, or you incorporate sounds in real life into your dream. And some of those are very, very memorable. I mean, did you ever sleep and the doorbell's ringing and you incorporate the doorbell ringing into your sleep and then you wake up and you go, wow, that was so real. I wonder if the doorbell was
oh,
ringing.
I
And it
will.
was.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
I will sometimes, because you can watch regular TV channels on your phone.
Yeah.
There are times when I wake up early in the morning. I think, okay, I'll listen. Like at 6 a.m. news comes on, and I'm watching it. Then I drift back off to sleep, and these people become characters who are talking in my dream, and it is so twisted and so bizarre that they become part of the. And I'm wondering. I say to myself, is this how some of that MK Ultra mind control works? That it's literally you're in a dream state, and the whatever's being fed into you becomes part of it. But I've had some very bizarre dreams having that happen. Fall asleep, listening to TV or whatever's on, and they become characters in your dream. You're like, wow, this is just too weird. You know?
Yeah. Well, as when I was a nurse, I was really, really cautious, and I was almost like the Gestapo. For my ICU patients or even my hospice patients, uh, their families would leave the TV on, with the news channel on, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this poor dying person is going to be incorporating, the messages from the news channel into their dream, and I
Oh
I would
my
turn it
gosh.
off. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
really, really important, and you will incorporate what you hear into your dream. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's happened to me more than once. And I've said, okay, that's just it's almost exhausting because then I wake up and I'm like, they're not talking about anything that I was seeing in that dream. It has nothing to do. It has become this just weird soup that you just like, oh my gosh, I turn that off. So That's just too much. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, just too weird.
So when I work with somebody, about a dream, there are things that we have to know. We have to know when it occurred. Like, what part of the night did it occur? Did it occur in the beginning of the night and then you woke up and you were disturbed and you couldn't go back to sleep? Did it happen at the end of the night? Did you have a physiological sensation? Did you incorporate some kind of a stimulus into the dream state? And
So we have our own part to play, is what you're saying.
Right. And any timing clues that you can pull out of the dream, like, how old were you, Tom, when you were on that green tricycle? And you're like, well, it's present day. Okay, great. That tells us that all of the other things that seem really symbolic and weird and murky and woo woo has to do with something that you're processing regarding today. If you told me that I was 6, well, then that has, the things that you're processing has a thread back to when you were 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Seems plausible.
It is plausible.
But
So
I didn't
good.
remember anything from being 6, you see. I remember a few things, of course, but nothing major. Nothing that would relate to any of the dreams I've had. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. So Aage is on another show, and we're very happy for him. He's coming back. He's only on another show for tonight. So
our roving reporter, Aage Nost, is on location with another channel. Yeah, that's okay.
It is okay.
Well, yeah, I believe, me, I've always talked about it, cross-pollination. We love it when people, we have our own people on, our own tribe. We actually, the tribe is all of us that we connect with. So he's connected. He's on with Dan Willis, I think, and another individual. I forget who that was. We've had Dan on. We talk to Dan all the time. So it's great. It's kind of a community thing. So
what was the name? The name, was that the Perception of Matrix, or what was it?
Yeah, let's see here. I
wrote it down.
He's on Freedom Slips right now. What do you call it? Well, Freedom Slips has their big.
It's the Matrix of Perception. That's where he is.
Matrix of Perception.
So, excuse me, I bumped my mic. Shady D said, "What about generational dreams?" Well, that's very interesting, and I'm being very literal, right, in the discussion tonight about working with the subconscious, and think generational dreams are magical, and sometimes, you're going into hypnosis, you're going into your subconscious mind, and if you think that you've had other lives, it could give you information into that as well. Doing your own past life regression, if you will.
And I think we have a caller. Let me just see here. Let's see here. I'm going to try to get this thing on speakerphone. Hello? Hang on. Let me see if I can get... how do I do this? Back. I have attendees on. Okay, so that's on. Trying to see if I can get this individual here. We have a caller. Attendee actions. Internet. Speaker. Here we go.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one host and one participant in this conference.
All right, it's working.
Please announce yourself.
Hey.
Broadcast Team Alpha. Okay, hello. So who have I got here on? Let's just find out how to make this work here. Can you hear me? Let's see here. She's muted, or he is muted. Unmute. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yay.
Okay, great. Who's calling in?
Phoebe's calling in.
Is this Nancy?
5 guesses. Yes.
Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Hi, Nancy.
I can't believe you guys hogged Billy Carson for yourself.
We love Billy. He's a great guy. And it was so great to have him on. Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to call in
That's great. Oh, well, we really didn't have it set up, and we thought about it after the fact. But yeah, that would have been great. But
No, it's okay. I
yeah.
understand. How often do you get to, for a whole hour to yourself?
Well, he's a difficult guy to track down. In fact, he had just left one interview to go do the interview with us. So he was like on a daisy chain. So the guy is constantly
Oh,
in
I know.
motion, very difficult to get a hold of. And so we were very fortunate to get him just for that moment. We're like, okay, you better not mess this up. Okay, this was one of those get it right kind of moments. So what have you got?
Yeah, I
What's
texted him the next day, and he laughed at me. What?
no worries. Well, what's happening with you with dreams? What's going on?
No, probably last year sometime, and I lost something, and I couldn't find it anywhere in the house, and I always put it in the same place. So there were some other things going on a few weeks before that. I had a close friend. She's got a relative that's in the church in the Philippines, and he's high ranking. And I was starting to tell her about what was really going on with the church, but she didn't really want to believe it. She wasn't open. And then I got a hold of another politician and the child scandals that are involved. And he didn't believe it. And I wasn't sure what to think because I know he rubs elbows with some of these people. That's how high up the ladder he is. It was an ex-boyfriend of mine. So he has an apartment in London, an apartment in New York. He travels all over the world. And he used to be a bonds broker in London. And it was strange. I was talking to him on the phone a few minutes, and then he started pressing me for details. So it was like, you do research for a living. I gave you just enough to find out what you needed to know. And because this is like one of those things you have to figure out for yourself. You can't take secondhand information. You have to go out, do the research, and find out what's going on for yourself because it's just too hard to believe. So a few weeks went by, and my friend lives in New York, and they had dinner together, and she told me that he talked to her about what we had discussed, and then she wanted to know more about what I knew about the church.
This is your dream?
So I started to give her the details, and I sent her some stuff. All of a sudden, I started getting choked. And I realized it was a satanic attack. And I was surprised because I really wasn't expecting to have that. But something started choking me as soon as I started to describe to her what was really going on. And then we decided we weren't going to talk about it anymore because I couldn't catch my breath. And we stopped the phone call. And as soon as I did that, everything went right back to normal. A few weeks later, something went missing in my house, something small, but it was something that I used every single day. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what this object is. But at the time, it was very important. I couldn't find it. It was turned out looking for it. That night, I went to bed, and all of a sudden, I'm in my house. It's dark, like pitch black. And my dog is sounding off in the background. I never see her. I'm just hearing her barking and barking and barking. So I come downstairs to see what's going on. The house is totally black. And she's just barking and barking and barking. And then something walks into the back door. And I see this shadow of a human, but not a human. It was humanoid. And it was short. It was only about 3.5, maybe 4 feet tall, bald, but it had long pointed ears, long arms, no clothes. I couldn't see any detail except the silhouette of this being, whatever it was. And it was vicious. and a very bad feeling. And it kept coming towards me, and I was looking at it, trying to figure out what I was looking at. And it got as far as only a few feet away from me, and then I woke up. And when I woke up, whatever that object was that I can't remember was sitting next to me.
Wow.
So Tom, I don't think she can hear me. That
Can-
was
can
all.
you
That
hear-
was that all one dream?
It felt like it was some sort of a warning. And then something else stepped in and told them to knock it off.
Okay, Nancy, can you hear Nori on the actual YouTube channel?
No.
No, I
Okay,
don't think so.
What were you saying, Nori?
Was that all one dream?
Was that all one dream?
Yes.
It was all one dream. Wow.
So let Nancy know that's a lot, and it would require more dialogue about what certain things mean to her, in order to really pinpoint it. But some people, when they dream that they're falling, they go, "Oh my God, does that mean I'm dying?" It means something so completely different. So it could, intuitively be some kind of a warning, but I would love to do the looking at it, the sorting out with her. Just let her know that. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Nancy? I don't know if she went away.
Oh, darn it.
I'm trying to
Oh, good.
Okay, good. All right. So, yeah. Okay, I guess the easiest thing would be to do to try to listen to what is to have this going in the background on YouTube. The problem is trying to patch freeconferencecall.com in with YouTube has been a major pain in the butt. So we're basically using me
Yeah.
holding the phone close to the mic. So when you replay this, what was the point you were trying to get to, Nori?
That we would need to talk about the key components of the dream and what each of those things means to her at every junction. So she might see, a different meaning to it after we had dialogue about it.
Did that make sense,
Yeah,
Nancy?
maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I just whatever it felt like a warning of some sort. But it was a strange thing. Very vivid. I don't normally get stuff like this.
It was very vivid. I mean, it was extremely detailed that she could note the passage of time from it being a couple of weeks and her friend was having dinner. And yeah, it's very, very detailed.
That part wasn't the dream. That part was life.
Oh, I couldn't tell
when
what.
I went to bed and I woke up and the house was black.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like something came in. I had the choking incident a few weeks before that. And I was awake. I was on a phone call talking to someone.
Wow.
And as soon as we started talking about what was going on with the church, then all of a sudden I was physically choked.
Wow.
It was a strange sensation. It's like something didn't feel right about that at all. It wasn't normal. Like if you had a dry throat or something like that, that would be different. But this was something else.
Wow.
Because I was doing a lot of heavy diving into topics.
So you were having some kind of you were having a paranormal experience?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Yeah, that's what that was.
This brings me to Laura Lee Potvin's group, Angel Rockers, because she has, I can't remember the formal name. Laura Lee, if you're still in here, let us know the formal name of Laura Lee's show where she examines the paranormal. So I would highly recommend that, if you want to talk about things like that with somebody who has a lot of experience, because Laura Lee has a ton of paranormal things that have happened to her in her house and her family. She's a great resource.
Yeah, I'll have to look into her things.
Yeah, she's really cool. She actually has a group, the Angel Rockers.
Yeah, the UFO stuff's been popping up a lot more too. It's gotten to the point where if I really ask them to show themselves, sometimes they will.
Wow.
And I had quite an experience last week outside in my back steps. And, you know, you're kind of goofing around, you're talking out loud. It's like, where are you? Why don't you guys show up more? Blah, 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 blah. And a week before that, I saw this tiny little red light. And a friend of mine has a site called Skylights with an S. And he's got the exact same thing on his site, too. But it was just a little red light out there. And I might have told you about this one before. And it was just blinking away. And at first I thought it was a plane, but it wasn't going anywhere. It was just hanging out. And then it just, poof, it was gone. So a week later, I'm out in the steps and I'm having that little conversation. And, you know, nothing happened. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot, guys. And I go in the house. So next night I'm out there and have the dog out. And, you know, we're just hanging out for like 10 minutes. And I see another one just zipping by in the distance. Just a straight white streak several miles away from my house. But it was enough to let me know that they were there. And then I was at a friend's fire pit in his backyard, and we were talking about UFOs. And we're hanging out, we're having a good time, s'mores and a fire and all that good stuff. I'm looking up and I see these red lights, and I'm like, oh, that looks like a plane. So I'm just hanging out and I'm looking up at that, and then all of a sudden it turns into 3 red lights and a white light, and they're like running around doing little light things, and I'm like, that's a plane.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden it morphs again, and it turns into a large black triangle craft with 3 red lights, one on each corner. And then it started to fade in and out, and then it was gone. So they were like, haha. I was like, holy crap.
Okay, Nancy, I want to thank you for coming on. This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I want to hear the rest of this story, I want you to call back in and give it to us on a night when we're dealing with sightings and things like that. Because tonight we're really trying to focus on the whole dream aspect.
Dream stuff.
Yeah, so I appreciate the story. We don't want to, it's not that we don't want to know the story, but for tonight we're really focusing on the dreams aspect.
Well, you
So-
can cut that part out.
No, it's all live, my friends. We love you and we appreciate you. So we don't want you to feel bad, but we just want to kind of focus back in on the dream aspect. So
Yeah, no, that was it. It was the other thing felt completely different too. That wasn't a normal dream.
wow.
That was very dark, malevolent. Something.
Well, we'll get back to this because you have a lot to share, and there's many times I've told you I would love to have you on as a guest. So let's maybe talk about that in the future, because you have a lot of information to share, and I would love to hear more about all of that because it's fascinating. You have had some amazing experiences that I don't want to minimize, but tonight we're focusing on the dream aspect. So we do appreciate that. I want you to know
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
So
Thank you.
thank you so much. So
You're welcome.
Nancy,
Now we can only get Val to call in.
well, we're
Yeah.
trying. We're waiting. Anybody else that has calls that wants to call in, we're more than happy to take calls. Nancy, thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Wow, interesting.
Oh, they put that wonderful guitar music on there.
Oh, I know.
Turn that down.
Is it last call? What happened?
It's this. Oh, this music it'll drive you crazy. It's the wonderful, slow, mellow. What is it? Smooth jazz guitar.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out to Greenheart One and Roll Pfeiffer Mueller and Bin Guy. Yay. Hey everybody. Really nice.
Mighty guy. Yeah.
Wow, really fun. Really fun.
We have a busy chat room tonight.
We
Thank
do. The chat room is so
That's great.
chatty. So chatty.
Amazing. So
Amazing.
hopefully we're bringing you've just brought just a font of knowledge about this dream
Oh.
stuff. So
I love it. But I mean, here's the crazy thing that I took away from it is that so much goes on in the 6 to 8 hours that we lay in bed and think nothing's going on, I mean, there's so much more going on. I mean, even just what goes on, in your body, your chemistry and your metabolism and your hormones. And I mean, just amazing thing goes on. Actually, more happens when we're dreaming, right? And with all the hallucinations, if you will, in air quotes, the dreams that we have, more stimuli goes on when we're sleeping than really what happens during the day.
Well, it is interesting. This is we spend how many hours a day in a bed processing whatever this is that we're doing. We're astral traveling, we're processing thoughts, our subconscious is running everything through this processing mechanism, and then we wake up and go, I guess I slept good or I slept bad, or I remembered a weird dream, or there's the cycle that we have to learn, I guess, that we need to know more about.
Yeah. And dreams are so important. There was a study done on Marines, young Marines. Why? Because they could. They were separated into two groups. One group became sleep deprived, right? They had no sleep, and the other group, they allowed the Marines to go to sleep, and as soon as they noticed they were going into rapid eye movement, they woke them up. So they didn't let them dream. They didn't let them dream. And what happened in the end? So they both deteriorated. So the people who had no sleep, right? First you go into auditory hallucinations, then you go into visual hallucinations, then you have a nervous breakdown if you don't sleep. That's what happens. But the aftermath of deterioration was no different between the people who were sleep deprived and the people who were dream deprived. That's how important dreaming is for us.
Wow. We need to dream, otherwise we are going to suffer. So the dreaming is part of a processing mechanism, like you said, the sorting out and the weeding out, and I guess symbology. There's a lot of symbols being thrown at us, a lot of literal symbology that sometimes it's like kind of a duh moment when you look at the puns that our own brain throws at us as far as symbols.
Right. But it also sorts out, okay, so how many of us go through life and have emotional experiences and we just stuff it. We just keep stuffing it. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Right? So it's the proverbial bag of shite on your shoulders, and the bag of shite keeps getting heavier and heavier. In your dreams, that's a safe place where you can feel the things that you're afraid to feel, that you can explore the things that you think might hurt too much to explore in waking life, and you get to do it in symbolism. That's why it's so productive and it's so helpful, to our health and our well-being.
So there are many different kinds of dreams. I mean, there are dreams that seem so large, they're larger than life. You're like, I'm never forgetting that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There's stuff that like, what was that?
Yeah.
I remember I had a dream where, as I had experienced in the Navy. So here's this scene where the boat's parked in a place where it couldn't be parked and people are doing things they couldn't be doing. I'm like, what? This isn't even right. I got to quit this. And it's almost like you want to it's like a TV show you don't even want to watch. What is this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had those,
Well, I had one that I think I might have been, 14 when I had it. And it was so powerful that I remember it. I remember how it felt to this day, and it involved, walking through a forest that turned greener and greener until everything was emerald green, and like the vibration of emerald, just emanated in the forest. And then there was music, and it was so emotionally and physically and sensually potent that I have never, ever forgotten. It was amazing.
All I can say to something like that is wow.
It was wow. It really, really was wow. Bin Guy says, speaking of perception, why do I feel more and more so many movies back in the days trying to tell people who's willing to dig and dig, trying to tell some bits and pieces indirectly with intention? Okay.
I'm not sure what that
I wish
means.
Bin Guy would call in, because kind of don't get it.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, this is something that I've struggled with trying to make freeconferencecall.com work with all this stuff. This is probably one of the best moments I've had where it actually worked, where I'm literally holding the free conference call machine away from the mic, and it actually works. So I'm very happy. So if you folks want to do a call in, this is a great moment. We've actually figured out a way to make it all work. You guys can hear the call, and you can ask your question directly, or throw out an idea. Maybe you got some thoughts.
And to the shout room, we're so to the shout room,
to the shout room, to the shout room, Batman.
Room. Let's all shout.
Right. I'll go to the shouting room.
Yes, to the chat room. Thank you. We so appreciate you, and I can't even tell you how it just makes our hearts smile when we see you in there and chatting away, and it's just so great. So thank you, everybody, for being.
You sound like Nori, you sound like one of those gals in one of those shampoo commercials, just totally enjoying the shampoo.
Oh, like herbal essence from back in the day?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Ah.
Exactly. I'm just totally digging it. So, yeah, that's great.
Oh, my goodness.
Too funny.
How Auggie's doing.
Well, he should be having fun. I mean, Dan Willis is a great guy. I've talked to Dan all the time, and Dan's just a fond of. There are these individuals out there who have been kind of like tasked with a memory bank capability. Dan's one of those people. Another one of those people is Dr. J. And these are people that can literally pull statistics or stories or lore. They pull it out like paragraphs at a time. They just like they're walking encyclopedias. And there's things that I can do a little bit like that, but some of these people, Dan Willis is one of them, that can just, if you want to know anything about ufology, Dan knows the entire timeline. Just this guy, you can just recite chapter and verse, so many different things that have gone on. So
because helping people change their lives is my passion, I would invite everybody this week to think about your message units, to think about all of the things that you take in that use up your resources, your inner resources, if you will. And even more than thinking about them, try and notice when you're done. Ding. So for me, I would notice when I always know when I'm done in a relationship, because it's like a trap door slams inside me. I go, I'm done, and I walk away. But that can happen.
They're not everybody feels that way. I mean, I have this, actually, you and I are similar in that regard. I have a certain cold side that just flips a switch and I'm done. But not everybody has that. There are people that struggle with ending relationships. So I'm not trying to say that any judgment here. There are people that struggle with that, and I respect that. I've been through something like that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I've experienced that, so I know what that's like.
Yeah. Well, and a good place to start is inside of yourself. Just notice when you're done for the day. Just notice when you're done, because if then you don't go into a deficit. Then you don't have to be completely uncomfortable. And then refurbishing or renewing your message units overnight when you sleep is easier. You have less to work on. So it made a huge difference for me, because my days are so much better.
Why do we have to struggle to even get to that place? That should be a natural, that we respect that part of ourselves, that we would have to actually get pushed to a certain point. That should be a natural part of our process.
Well, it should.
Process.
I know, but our society is right. No pain, no gain. The early bird gets the worm. All of those sayings that encourage us to push ourselves past what we really want to push ourselves to do. I mean, there's a time to push yourself, but it's more eventful. It's more successful if the push is well thought out instead of an adrenaline knee-jerk push.
My ex and I, this is 20 some years ago, it was kind of came down to, well, I didn't say I wanted a divorce. I'm not saying that. And each of us were saying the same thing. It's like, we wanted it, but we didn't want to admit to it. And it's like, you have to kind of get honest with yourself and respect what you really feel, and really kind of face up to where you really want to be. And it's not always easy. It takes some coming to grips with your internal thoughts and processes and saying, okay, wait a minute now. This isn't who I really am. This is who I really am. And I need to kind of honor that.
Right. But so too, that we have all of these, parts of our culture that push us and push us. there are many parts of our culture that do not allow for us to go, who am I? What do I believe in? And what do I want? And this is the beginning. This is the beginning of my 12-week mastery class that we have. We spend a lot of time just going, who am I? What do I want? What do I believe in? And the most important part is, why do I deserve it? When you look at those things, a lot of things in life become so much easier. But it's not something that you can just do, like in 10 minutes and go, okay, I'm done. I mean, it really, you have to be willing to go in, and Velcro off, right? That Velcro feeling, take
Exactly.
that off that no longer serves you. Yeah.
Well, that's part of also becoming honest with ourselves and really saying, okay, have I been fooling myself with my own rhetoric, with my own thoughts? What's really happening here, and what's the end result of what's really happening here? You go into this kind of an honest look internally at what's going on. You have to.
And I don't think it's a matter of you've been fooling yourself. It's just that when you get to the moment where you ask the question, have I been fooling myself? That's actually a point of illumination. So it's not something you should beat yourself up over. It's a point of illumination where you go, oh, well, look, I've been there. Okay, now where am I going?
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So Karen said, and then too much caffeine and we really don't rest. Then now that's the truth.
That's the physiology. Yeah.
Yeah. So if here's the other part of it. If you go to bed, right, and you take an Ambien, some medical marijuana, and a couple of beers, guess what? You're going to wake up exhausted because you're not going to be able to go into that REM sleep where you do the venting.
Giant pause for everybody.
The pregnant pause.
Giant pause of, oh, what? What did she say? Wait a minute, what?
So Shady D says asking those questions leads to self-awareness, and that leads to self-awareness, and that leads to enlightenment. Exactly.
And Nancy mentioned that the pineal gland gets messed up by coffee as well, which is why,
coffee.
Oh my God, yes.
I know, I love coffee. So
it's pure gold, Captain.
It's on. It's 21:05.
Well, we're slightly over, but it's all right.
Thank you all for being here. So
love everyone.
So lovely.
Well, we're no longer taking calls, so we're going to turn that aspect off. We do appreciate Nancy. That was awesome. And we're going to have to listen to more of where Nancy's coming from, but we appreciate this discussion on dreams. Nori, you've been really amazing. I have learned a lot. I'm not a dream expert. I have a lot of dreams. I have a highly creative mind. So reining all that in and also having vivid dreams, this is something a lot of people are experiencing.
And you know what? A lot of people are talking about they're experiencing dreaming a lot more right now, and that's for a different show. But I would love to have a call in for people like Nancy to talk about their experiences with ufology.
Absolutely, her ET abduction, all of that. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll have to schedule that. So thank you everybody for being here. Zahn, want to take us out?
Absolutely, Marika, and we'll explain that also. By the way, those little names, we have that's a whole another show by itself. But we love all of you. Thank you all for coming and enjoying our conversation this evening and adding in actually as much as you all have. And thank you, Nancy, for dialing in. And anybody else next time, come on, you guys are going to dial in next time. So until next time, thank you very much. And I'm going to push the outro music, and we'll see you next time. God bless you all.
Bye.